Chicago is finally evicting migrants from shelters, and some people don't like it. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the city of Chicago, Illinois, the sanctuary city and the sanctuary state, Illinois, finally evicting some migrants from their shelters. I think the first batch is about 36 people, many of whom are adult males, if not all. And they eventually want to get it to about 2,000 at a certain point. And I presume this is going to be an ongoing process. Now, some people don't like this. They say, hey, well, they don't have any jobs. They're going to be out in the cold, all this, that, and the third. Well, first of all, we're about to be in April, so winter is about to be over with. The snow is going to melt. The sun is going to shine. And at a certain point, you're an adult male. Figure it out. You came to this country illegally, legally, whatever. Okay, now you got to go make something happen. It is what it is. And there's also one big issue here that's not really being spoken about. There's a measles outbreak in these shelters. You know, it's crazy. It's kind of funny, although it's not funny to many of us who experienced it. Many of us were locked down for, I'm not sure how long, a month, 6 months, a year, 2 years. Many of our lives have been ruined, damaged, changed forever because we didn't get the C-19 vaccine, or maybe we did and we got injured. All of that over C-19, but these so-called migrants, illegal aliens, asylum seekers, whatever you want to call them, not only do they not have the C-19 vaccine, they don't have any vaccines. The same vaccines we got when we were little kids in elementary school, they never had in their lives. So, of course, they're going to bring all types of random things you've not seen before. A lot of my young viewers don't even know what measles is. It's a skin rash, but it also causes respiratory issues. That's happening in these shelters. So I think at a certain point, they need to get up out of there. Now, before I go any further, let's get into a couple of clips. As always, if you want to see the clip with all my commentary, link as always will be in the description box. If you're in IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, Chicago pushing out migrants, evicting them from city-run shelters. The controversial policy enforcing a 60-day limit, an effort to manage their growing numbers, rolling out after months of delays. But how they're being pushed out is leaving many confused and frustrated. One migrant telling NBC News he was told about his eviction the day before, saying,
but look, though, at a certain point, you can't be there forever, so it doesn't really matter. You need to be figuring out a way to go from point A to point B. You can't just hang out on the shelter and think you're going to be there indefinitely.
Administrators first gave him a deadline of 2 p.m. Monday, but shortly after changed it to 12:30 p.m. Outside the shelter on Sunday, migrants waited, unsure of what's next for them.
It's a lot of not good answers and people out there being left in the street.
Let's pause for a minute. Let's go back. Now, what do you see out here? Are these the migrants? I see a bunch of young men. I'm not quite sure how old they are. They could be teenagers, could be in their 20s, but I'm seeing young men. I don't see any women or children.
Good answers and people out there being left in the street.
Some local officials and advocates saying it's unthinkable to push these people out in the cold and that many do not have work authorization yet because of a 150-day waiting period after applying for asylum.
We think that if folks aren't able to get work authorization, they don't have rental assistance, they're most likely ending up homeless.
Oh, well, man, it is what it is. You got a lot of homeless Americans out here as well. So, look, you come to the country legally, illegally, whatever. It's up to you to figure out what you're going to do. All right. If you know you don't have legal status, you don't have a green card, you're here just on the humbug, you got to figure it out for yourself. And you know what? You came from somewhere. So if it can't work here, you could go back over there. I mean, you were doing something to survive from your birth up until you're 18 years old. So go back there and do what you were doing. I hear that Venezuela is beautiful this time of the year. Let's keep on going.
The mayor defending the policy in a statement, saying the city has limited resources to meet the scale of arrivals and is constantly evaluating options.
They can return to the landing zone.
Let's go back because the news loves to show you a quote and not read it. Let's see what he said here. He says, we are constantly evaluating options that will lead to better care for all Chicagoans. Now, are we calling illegal aliens, asylum seekers, migrants? Are we calling them Chicagoans? Is that what we're doing? Okay, that's your problem right there. See, you're embracing these people as if they're going to be citizens, they're going to be voting. See, this is your fault. You can eliminate the problem by discontinuing your efforts to invite them. Stop being a sanctuary city in Chicago. Stop being a sanctuary state in Illinois. It's so simple, but maybe these simple things are difficult to understand for a lot of normies out there.
They can return to the landing zone and request another shelter placement. If there's a placement available, they'll be able to do that. Some may choose to move on.
Move on. Yeah, exactly. Go on back to where you came from or go somewhere else. Figure it out. Figure it out. These are all adults. You guys can figure your life out.
According to the city, more than 37,000 migrants have been bused to Chicago since 2022, when Texas Governor Greg Abbott, a Republican, began sending them.
Why does it matter what his political party is? Why does that distinction matter at all? It doesn't. And why does it matter who's sending them? If you guys are a sanctuary city and state in Chicago and Illinois, respectively, together, collaboratively, then you should welcome all the migrants, shouldn't you? That's what I'm thinking, but maybe I'm wrong.
As of last week, the city says it's successfully relocated nearly 20,000 people and is in the process of relocating about 4,000 more.
So what does that mean? Does that mean taking them and shipping them away from Chicago? Does that mean giving them permanent or semi-permanent residency somewhere in the Chicago area? Like, what does that mean, relocating? These are very vague terms.
That still leaves thousands of migrants like Lisbeth Velasquez in the city shelter system. She says she fled Venezuela due to political persecution 7 months ago.
Te piden el contrato de trabajo. Te piden el estado de cuenta. Te piden unos requisitos.
Okay, I'm going to read some of these. It says, living spaces, ask you for a work contract, ask you for account statements.
Te piden el estado de cuenta. Te piden
The actual requirements, none of which I have. Now, you don't like you miss any meals, okay? I don't want to be mean, but you appear to be very well fed in Venezuela. You weren't doing too bad for yourself, okay? When I'm thinking about refugees, when I'm thinking about asylum seekers, I'm thinking about you're on the brink of death. Obviously, that's not you, but again, I digress.
el contrato de trabajo. Te piden el estado de cuenta. Te piden unos requisitos que, o sea, actualmente yo no cuento con ninguno.
When we spoke to Velasquez back in February, she was set to be evicted by April 1st.
Es preocupante porque eso van a inundar los
And she says it's worrying because the landing zones and streets are going to be flooded.
distritos policiales, las calles. Creo que no es la solución.
She now tells
And she says that's probably not the best way to go about it. It's not really the solution. But check it out. Venezuela, again, it's probably nice this time of year. You were very well fed over in Venezuela, looking like Griselda Blanco. Okay, you eating all the meals in the world. I heard that Venezuela had a problem with food insecurity because of the issues going on, but you don't appear to be having that problem. So I don't understand what the complaint is.
us her deadline has been moved to May 1st. The city says it's granting extensions on an individual basis, including in cases where migrants are enrolled in public benefit programs, need medical care, or have children. In the meantime, migrants like Velasquez are living with uncertainty.
Estoy trabajando, no tengo recursos económicos para
He says, I'm not working. I don't have the financial resources to pay for a place to live.
pagar una vivienda.
And Valerie Castro joins us now. Valerie, there are also reports of a measles outbreak at a migrant shelter in Chicago. What can you tell us?
Well, it certainly complicates things, right? The city says at least 10 cases of the measles have been traced to one shelter in the city. So the mayor says his goal now is to ensure that migrants can get vaccinated when they get there before they enter the shelter system, especially if they plan on staying long term.
So now, are they going to impose vaccination requirements on the migrants to get vaxxed for measles? How about everything else they don't have any kind of vax for? Is it going to be a C19 requirement? Is it going to be all of our childhood vaccinations that they don't get in parts of the world, remote parts of this planet in which things are just a little bit different? I wonder if they're going to do that. There's a lot here. There's a whole lot going on. But as I close, I want to say this. Chicago, this is your fault. You guys are a sanctuary city, sanctuary state. The guys and girls who live in Chicago, live in Illinois, who did not vote for this, I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking to your officials. I'm speaking to your Pritzker, JB Pritzker, the governor. I'm talking to Brandon Johnson, the mayor. I'm speaking to those individuals and those who voted for them, and also those who voted for Biden. You voted for Biden. You voted for all these guys, all these Democrats that have done this to you. Well, congratulations. This is your prize. This is your reward for your foolish voting patterns. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what's happening here in Chicago, Illinois, with the migrants and the measles? And now they're having to evict them. They don't have enough resources. And they're still trying to point the finger at Greg Abbott and Republicans and MAGA extremists. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is the predictable outcome of such policies on the books by having all these migrants from all over the world with no vaccinations. They could be sick. They could be criminals. They could be whatever. You're going to get some unexpected results. I mean, to them, it's unexpected, but to me, it's expected, because what else is going to happen? Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.